Hey everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, December 1st, 2024. I hope that you all had a Thanksgiving that was as wonderful as the Newmans and the Abbotts. I really feel like Y&R did the Thanksgiving holiday right this year. Everything about it felt right. The Newmans at the new old ranch and the Abbotts around the formal dining room table, that was perfect. I mean, you know that's what the viewers are wanting to see, that Abbott dining room table. Did you see the dining room table? I really feel like Mrs. Martinez outdid herself this year. Y&R made sure to show us that there was pie and pastries and dinner rolls, and there was even a tray of candied oranges. And I just kept thinking, wow, that is so much work. Who's really going to pick up the candied orange? Oh, but I bet it smelled amazing in there. And it looked amazing too. I mean, forget the turkey. That whole room was stuffed with, pumpkins and orange and yellow flower arrangements and leaf displays. The Abbott dining room was full. It was full of stuff, and it was full of family. I absolutely loved the moment when Claire walked through the front door, because she's kind of on the guest level. She's not family, she's a guest. And I was sort of following her as a guest through the front door, and I loved the moment when Tracy handed Claire a tiny cup of cider right as she walked through the door. Now, that is class. That right there is class. That is how you do Thanksgiving. That is how you make someone feel welcome. Welcome to our home. Let me put a tiny cup of hot cider in your hand. Magnificent. Now, where we dropped in on the Newmans, it was a little less formal than the Abbotts. And yet, Victor sprung for a coat check girl at the front door. Let me ask you, who has a coat check person for a 10-person family event? Y'all can't get your own coats in and out of the closet? Did any of you have a coat check person at your family Thanksgiving this year? Wow. I mean, I'm happy for her, because I'm sure that she got paid top dollar to sacrifice her own Thanksgiving and be there to do, a total of 5 minutes work, taking a coat, hanging it up, unhanging the coat, and handing it to the person 10 times tops. That was so awkward. I mean, I love having extras in the background, but in the home, like, that was so distracting. It was really all I could think about. And honestly, the coat check girl was the biggest drama of the day to me. So while we got to see the Abbotts right before they started chowing down on their delicious meal, we dropped in on the Newmans while they were waiting in the main room for the meal to be served. They were just chit-chatting, gossiping, having some drinks in the sunroom. And what luck that there were no children around to suck up all of the attention. It was adults only. It was implied that the kids would be there later, and that all of the kids, when the audience was there, they had all decided to go hang out in the stables. The kids had decided to go hang out in the stables. A gaggle of Newman cousins just together in one place with no parents. What were they doing there together is my question. Were they feeding the horses or were they planning a corporate takeover? You decide. That's some future generation drama going down there at the stables. We only really saw two youngins. We had Connor at the ranch doing real good. But I can't believe he was going to go down to the stables to meet his cousins wearing a white sweater. I mean, the stables was said to have been a place where Christian was playing in the mud, and now Connor's going down there in his white sweater. To me, that seems like an OCD disaster getting ready to happen. But I'm sure he handled it better than I would. I'm not going down to the stables in my white sweater. Priorities. But yes, at the Abbott house, we also had Harrison. He was present for the whole thing, star of the show, really, with that avant-garde candy corn turkey art. I mean, that thing is going to be hanging in an art museum someday. It's going to be all sticky and covered in ants. And for all of the people who don't like candy corn, there you go. Innovator Harrison Luck has found a creative use for candy corn to be repurposed at Thanksgiving. There were two characters whose stories were present at both the Newman and the Abbott gatherings. Claire, who was there in the flesh, and Billy, who was there in spirit. Claire has got some real drama coming her way real soon, because first of all, Summer was giving her the evil eye at how absolutely flawlessly she fit into both families, fit into the Newman family, but also fit right into Kyle's snuggly wuggly arms. Man, Claire basically slid right into Summer's position in the Abbott family, as you know, Claire is now kind of Kyle's lady and Harrison's other mother. And now that Summer is single, I can just see her looking at Kyle and Claire thinking, I am gonna mess this up. That is my goal. But the other drama that Claire is going to have going on is at Chancellor. I'm assuming we're not going to be calling it Abbott Chancellor anymore, which is good because I can never remember that anyway. And I'm almost wondering if there's going to be some kind of formal ceremony when we revert back to calling it Chancellor Industries, or maybe they'll just call it Chancellor. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be reverted back to being called Chancellor Industries. But for now, I'm just going to call it Chancellor. So Claire has decided to go to work with Nikki at Chancellor, but not before she allowed Victor to smooth over the fact that he screwed over Billy and Lily to get the company. But it's all okay because Victor did it for the family. I think he said about 4 times just in one episode that everything he does for the family. And honestly, I thought it was a little cringy how proud Claire was of herself for having the nerve to question Victor about it. But by the end, she was parroting his own for the family line with her newly washed brain when it was coming time to talk about it. It's amazing how we will allow ourselves to believe whatever we want to believe when it aligns with something that we want. She wanted the job. She wanted Victor and Nikki to convince her that it was okay to take it. And so she allowed herself to be convinced to take it. Victoria and Cole are definitely worried about her, and I'm worried about her too, more than a little, because I mean, Victoria, Cole, and we all know that Claire has simply yet to discover that, I mean, at the end of the day, there's only one way, and that's Victor's way. Victor's going to do whatever Victor wants to do, and he's going to say that it's for the family every time. And if you can get on board with Victor's plan, then no problem, you're in. But if you throw up any real resistance to his plans, you're out. Billy's presence was very much felt at both family events, even though he wasn't actually at either of them. This week, Billy packed up his office while having an argument with Jill about everything that went down with the sale. But, you know, I mean, that's the thing about nepotism. What can be handed to you so easily can also be taken away so easily. And like I said last week, I wish that Jill would have offered him a part of the sale money to, you know, to take the money and go start something on his own, maybe something more suited to his personality, because I like Billy. I like what Billy's doing, and I think the world does need dreamers and visionaries, people who are willing to take risks and be bold, and Billy really fits that bill. It just didn't fit with Chancellor. He fits the bill, but the bill maybe didn't fit him. I mean, I really think that Billy is capable of contributing an enormous amount of value wherever he goes. Just, you know, something creative, something good, something positive, something beyond the revenge game. But that's where he has set his target. Revenge on Victor. That's his target. And this week he tried to enlist Phyllis to help him. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to end up working out. I just don't know how much revenge Phyllis is going to be able to handle right now. I mean, she has already got her hands full with Sharon. Does she really need to take on Victor too? Listening back to the Y&R Chat Ranch flashback special, I am just so struck by how deep Adam and Sharon's connection was. You know, that he was the one that Sharon called when she needed help, that he was the one who pulled her from the literal ashes of the ranch fire. And now it seems that Adam and Sharon are little more than acquaintances. I mean, really, if you've got some extra time this weekend, you should pick up the Y&R Chat Ranch Flashback Special so you can soak in some ranch nostalgia and also relive another era of Sharon's mania. It's so good. Go to GenoaCitySoap.com and pick it up. I mean, I'm fresh off listening to it again. And so I'm thinking about it. It's in my mind when Adam actually shows up to see Sharon this week, finally reaching out to her. But then it just fizzled, you know? It didn't go anywhere. Adam went to Sharon really with his heart in his hand. And he said to her, I am not here to judge you. I am here to help you. But she turned him away. She said, you know, I have to deal with this on my own. But she's not really on her own. She seems to have no problem relying on Nick, so why not Adam? I just can't help thinking about how before the fire, Adam and Sharon were fire, and now his story has become so watered down. You know, he's just stuck between two layers of a nothing burger with Sally and Chelsea. I don't know. The Sharon days were controversial, but they were interesting. And maybe Sharon was thinking, okay, I just want to save Adam from having to deal with my drama right now because, you know, he's got a young son and he's got a lot going on, and you know, I mean, comparatively, Adam's drama is a whole lot lighter than Sharon's. Adam's drama just walked down the stairs of the athletic club after a night of passionate lovemaking. So, Billy and Sally came downstairs to eat, get a little nourishment, replenish a few calories after their naked yoga session in her room. And Adam got an eye full of the reality that these two are sleeping together now. And of course, Adam wanted to march right over there, but instead he sent them a bottle of champagne over to the table. I think that's fun. I like that move. I like that moment. It's catty. It's not heavy. And Sally felt very awkward about it, clearly, but she was trying her best to shake it off, not let it ruin the evening, not make a bigger deal about it than it is. And Billy, on the other hand, seemed completely preoccupied with how he is now going to get revenge on Victor, and yeah, probably Adam too. And that's bad news because it definitely puts Billy and Sally's whole relationship, into dangerous territory. I mean, I do think that Billy and Sally are intrigued by one another. You know, there's all that passion there, and I do think that they care about each other. There's also a friendship there. But if Billy is overly preoccupied with revenge, then it might start to seem like Sally is just a part of that plan. Now, Adam, while he doesn't like the hooking up of Billy and Sally, Adam is so clearly in the middle of a lukewarm reunion with Chelsea. Adam brought Chelsea and Connor to the Newman Thanksgiving. So what does that say? Did Chelsea go to Adam's family Thanksgiving last year? I don't think so. It really seems like Adam and Chelsea and Connor are becoming a complete unit again. But Chelsea is like in deep denial about it. Nick very lightly questioned her about the breakups and what's going on between them all. And Chelsea was very defensive. She didn't want to talk about it. And I think that what it really is that Chelsea doesn't want to acknowledge it to Nick or Adam or anybody else because she really doesn't want to acknowledge it to herself. The Abbotts were waiting in vain for Billy to walk through the door with a pie in each hand. But Kyle did walk through the front door with one pie in one hand, Crimson Light's pumpkin pie! Probably had to reorder it like a month ago. Good work, Kyle. Good work on getting that Crimson Light's pumpkin pie. I've heard it's the best in town. And I'm sure it doesn't come easily. I feel like, that's the kind of forethought and pre-planning that we are looking for from the new co-CEO of Jabot. I am sorry, but to me, it was so cringy that Diane hijacked the Thanksgiving meal right before everybody was about to put the fork in their mouth, hijacked the meal to publicly announce and make sure that everyone knew that she was stepping down as Jack's co-CEO, and oh, so selflessly handing that title to her son. Way to make it about you, Diane. Well, I don't know. I guess she had to save face somehow. She and Jack chose Thanksgiving as the time that they were going to announce to the whole family that they weren't actually ever broken up, that it was all just part of their dramatic plan to rescue their baby bird from the jaws of a snake. Never mind that Kyle is an adult. Never mind that Kyle made all of his own decisions, including stealing a new product that was in production at Jabot and giving it to Victor, probably costing the company millions of dollars. Congratulations, Kyle! Your reward is now you get to be the co-CEO of the company that you screwed over. Wow, I bet all of the employees are going to be really happy about that. I mean, you know that the rumor mill has probably been turning and burning. Like when a product that everyone worked so hard on somehow ended up with a glissade label on it? Huh. Wonder who was behind that. Oh, the new co-CEO. Whatever. So what becomes of glissade? This week, Diane talked to her lawyers, and they told her that basically Glissade is a shell company. Victor sold off all of the parts before giving it to her, so all she really owns is the name. So now, does that mean that Glissade is just going to quietly drop off the radar forever? Or, I don't know, will someone like Audra want to pick up the pieces and start the whole thing over again? You know what Nate's Thanksgiving was missing? Sex. Audra went over there thinking she was gonna have sexy Thanksgiving, and that didn't pan out. I still love her anyway. Audra basically said, I don't do Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna bring you a birthday cake instead. Is it your birthday? I don't know. But if you're a good boy, you can eat this cake off of my naked body. That would have been way more better to see. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Audra was completely deflated when she walked through the door and found Amy there, like spoiling her sexy cake frosting plans. That was a real sad sack Thanksgiving. Man, sitting around his apartment with this woman that he barely knows, who has dumped this burden of her death and a mystery brother onto him. And Nate said, fine, I'll find my brother, because I was able to confirm the DNA match on that lock of hair. So we've confirmed that they're related. But, I mean, I don't know. That's it. The agreeing is not very exciting. We knew that was going to happen. I think we really need to get down to the business of finding this guy soon. And since we already have the hospital set up, I think now would be a good time for Nate's sexy new brother to come walking around the corner with Elena, revealing that he was right here in Genoa City under our noses the entire time. Phyllis is in the hospital this Thanksgiving, but apparently she insisted on making Summer bring her a turkey sandwich so that she didn't have to miss out. Yes! You need to bulk up on protein, Phyllis, because you are going to need it for going to battle with Sharon and Michael. Michael stopped by the hospital this week to accept his punishment for daring to defend Sharon on a crime against Phyllis's family and against Phyllis herself. I'm in the hospital right now because of Sharon, Phyllis tells him. Now, I have to say, I appreciated that Michael did not just roll over, even though Phyllis cranked up the heat on him pretty high. Pretty high. She was like, if you defend her, then you are not my friend. I mean, she straight up threatened to end their friendship forever over it. But Michael said, I hear you. I am your friend, even if you are not mine. But I am not going to let you intimidate me into changing my mind. I am a defense attorney this time, right now. This is what I do. Getting people out of jams that seem impossible, but then I somehow pull it off. And need I remind you that there was a time when you needed me because nobody else believed in you. But great moment at the end of that episode. Michael and Phyllis get done arguing. There is nothing left to say. Michael leaves, and Phyllis has a flash memory of the night of the crash. And Phyllis realizes that, oh, Sharon didn't run me off the road. I was kind of looking at text messages on my phone and totally not paying attention. Oops. So Phyllis flashes out of the memory, and she has this shocked look on her face, and Michael just so happens to come back in the room to see it, and he says, "What's the matter?" And Phyllis replies, "Nothing." So Phyllis has the missing piece of the puzzle that proves that Sharon did not run her off the road that night, as she so vehemently argued to Michael. Phyllis has that information, but is she gonna give it up? Nope. In the previews for next week, Nick is talking to Chance, saying something's not right about this whole Sharon thing, and maybe Chance will listen this time. He is already very embarrassed about the wrongful arrest. And so now I feel like he is going to follow every crumb, no matter how small, no matter how much work it takes. I think Chance is going to want to make sure that he gets it right this time. Faith told Nick that Sharon didn't even have her phone the night of the accident. So if someone or, something else was at play that night, then who's to say that someone or something else wasn't at play on the night of Heather's murder? So we are most definitely entering in to the resolution and rehabilitation part of this story. Especially because this week, Cameron showed back up, possibly for the final time, because Sharon finally was able to muster up the power after all these months to send him away. She just looked him in the eye and said, and then closed her eyes and then said, "Go away." And then when she opened her eyes, he was gone. Just gone. Almost as fast as he came. And right before that, Cameron was trying to convince Sharon to go along with the insanity plea, telling her that it would be a whole lot easier to spend the time in Fairview than it would be to spend the time in prison doing hard time. But at this point, I think Sharon has learned that she might just need to do the opposite of whatever Cameron is telling her to do, that maybe that's the right thing. Because she turns around and tells Nick that she doesn't want to take the insanity plea defense. She just wants to accept her punishment and be done. Be done. Be done. She cannot handle all of the stares and the whispers every time she walks through the door of the coffee house business that she owns. I mean, Sharon has become such a social pariah that even the homeless did not want to take a Thanksgiving meal from her this year. Pinot, anyone? That is our quote for the week. Who said it? Pinot, anyone? If you think you know who said that, you can go to yrchat.com to reveal the answer. And now, from who said it to you said it, let's dive into your comments, starting with Gary, who says, I was completely taken aback to see, Sharon not knowing what to do with herself, reporting to Crimson Lights to work today. Esther was clearly jittery to be in the presence of a stone-cold murderer. Not wanting to put her foot in her mouth, but longtime fans know how that goes with her. Luckily for her, Sharon released Esther to go home early, leaving Sharon completely in the dark. How many customers was Sharon able to serve today, and who ran from the premises screaming into the night? Not a big business boom, except for looky-loos. Sharon's accused crime has a lot of factors, including mental health, that I would think even Michael Baldwin would not be able to get her out on bail with. Does Sharon pose a danger to the community? Yes. She's out doing Harry Carey willy-nilly, or so it would seem to the Dinsians of Genoa City. That bail just seems like such a stretch to me. And you know, when Phyllis gets out of the hospital, the first thing she's going to do is run right over to the coffee house. The bail for being out on bail for a cold-blooded murder is absolutely ridiculous. But yes, I loved all of the little moments of Sharon feeling paranoid in her own coffee house as people are whispering around her. I mean, why would anybody even really want to go in there and hang out anymore, knowing that she's possibly going to be there and she's so unhinged? It would make me uncomfortable. Like, I just want a hot cocoa right now. I don't want to be uncomfortable by your murderiness. Well, Steven says, the hospital monitor screen caps show that Phyllis is improving. Last week, blood pressure was 100/54, respiration 37 a minute, and shallow, lead me to wonder if Dr. Elena would offer her an organ donor card. This week, heart rate was 71, BP 140/73, respiration 17 a minute, and more normal. A bit of stage 2 hypertension, but at least she isn't bleeding out. Dr. Google suggests some lifestyle changes. Exercise regularly, manage stress, limit alcohol, and even get enough sleep. Instead, Dr. Billy is prescribing joining a battle royale with Victor. With any luck, we'll get a new athletic club green screen for Phyllis to ride a recumbent bike in the beguiling sweats with a Pilates class in a mirror while she pursues the conspiracy. Stephen, looking at the hospital monitor screen and having any idea how to interpret those numbers, the deep dive into the hospital monitor screen, my friend, the bar has been raised yet again. Color me impressed. Sharon W. says, like Billy said to Phyllis, you hate Victor as much as I do. Thanks, Billy, for asking Phyllis to join you in taking down the great Victor Newman. But tread lightly, because Victor has been knocked down many times in the past by many different people and still always rises to the top. Yeah, I wonder if Phyllis is going to take this on. I mean, yeah, she hates Victor, but I mean, what has Victor really done lately that's going to spur Phyllis to action, you know, when she's got so much else going on? I think that Phyllis is just maybe Team Billy, no matter what Billy wants and needs. But it will be interesting to know if she decides to go with it. Daisy says Billy's going to lose when he finds out that Billy's going to lose it when he finds out that Jack gave Kyle the position that he wanted. He might decide that he was betrayed and move out, or stay to make Jack's life miserable. What he could do, though, is ask Jack to put him in another position so he's working. Billy would smile and show how happy he is, all the while making plans to sabotage Jack and Kyle, thinking that when they mess up, he'd become CEO. Yeah, you know, I think Billy belongs at Jabot, and I think Jack is going to have a one-on-one conversation with Billy real soon and offer him something. And, you know what? It's not right, though. It's really not right that that position in the company immediately passed along to Jack's heir instead of John's. Yeah, Jack's going to have some explaining to do, and I hope that ultimately he is able to find some kind of position within Jabot. Who knows? Maybe Billy could be the one to take over Glissade. Well, Connie says, kudos to Claire. She told Victor to his face that he thinks he knows what's best for people instead of giving them a choice in the matter. She was respectful as well as bold and brave. I felt a tide turning in their relationship until she took the job. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. It's like, it's hard to be real honest with somebody like Victor when he's also buttering your bread. And I think that there's a reason that Victoria and Cole are concerned about it. I think it's a valid reason. Daisy says, I don't see how Claire believed Victor was wrong in how Lily was treated, and also how he acquired chancellors. Lily tried to set up Billy. She lied about her intentions of remaining at Chancellor, and when he found out, she lost her job because of her own actions. Lily then went to Victor as a last resort, believing somehow that her interests would become his best interests. Victor was technically wrong for withholding his true intentions from Lily. Victor, though, had already started trying to attain chancellors, telling her that his plan may have backfired on him. But Lily's upset, and it's not her fault, so if she doesn't join Devon's company, she may join up with Billy to try to take Victor down. I don't see Phyllis joining Billy's crusade. She could have died. Her family's what's important now. So the next person he may go to is Lily. I hope, though, that Lily changes her mind and works with Devon before she discovers that Victor will be prepared for whatever Billy and she serves. Oh, that's a good point. Phyllis could very well turn Billy down, and Billy could go to Lily and ask for some revenge against Victor help. That makes more sense. Lily is the more recently scorned person by Victor, and you would think that if Billy and Lily were willing to team up at Chancellor, they might very well be willing to team up against Victor. Hey, let's talk about Summer. I mean, clearly, it is Chance out and a triangle with Claire and Kyle in. Last week, I asked you guys if Summer should dump Chance, and wow, 52% of you say, yeah, get rid of him. 48% say no, but Sue W says, yes, Summer should dump Chance. He's boring. Hot, but boring. Yawn. That's as good a reason as any. Russell voted yes, because Summer's so disillusioned by him, I'm not sure she can come back from it. Chance wasn't very thorough and left a lot of stones unturned, so... Well, and Steven still says yes. Summer needs to dump Chance and treat him like the pariah he is. Chance willingly, albeit unknowingly, participated in the framing of Daniel. You would expect that he would have a modicum of self-reflection on what he missed, but not even that. And now the preview suggests he's going all in on Sharon's defense. Who's he going to frame next? Sure, Sharon didn't run Phyllis off the road and didn't actually kill Heather, but she planned to kill Daniel, Heather, or Lucy, or whoever might have drunk the poison, and she did dump Heather's body into the river, planted evidence, and then lied to Chance about what Heather said to her. And Diana adds, it's not that big of a crime compared to the others, but by the way, Sharon also broke into Phyllis's apartment. Yeah. I mean, that is the crux of this, right? It's that we know Sharon didn't kill Heather, but she darn sure did a bunch of other stuff that is criminal. But actually, Diana voted no, that Summer should not dump Chance over all of this, saying, I think Summer is being a little unfair toward Chance. Yes, he made a mistake with Daniel's arrest, but he did what he thought was right at the time. To be perfectly honest, I find them a little boring at the moment. As Allie mentioned, the couples are just fine, but that's it. I'd like to see Chance have a fling with Chloe. They were lovers before and once engaged, and we never see Kevin, Chloe's husband. Kevin cannot, I mean, he could be away on business, and this could give us an opportunity to see Chloe more often and spice things up. I can't remember the last time we saw Chloe in a steamy love scene. This would also cause some turmoil for Chloe, as I believe she's still working for Summer at Marchetti. We could see Summer being jealous every time she sees Chance and Chloe together, and have some scenes of Summer praising Sally's design and Summer not liking working with Chloe as much. Just some thoughts on some new fun drama with the couples. I like it. What I would like even more is Chloe and Adam. It's too much hatred to let that never be developed into a storyline. Y&R, you want to spice up the couples? You want to shock the viewers? Chloe and Adam falling for each other, which would also cause so much drama between Chelsea and Chloe. Wouldn't that be if Adam and Chelsea hook back up and then all of a sudden Adam has a steamy affair with Chloe? I mean, I think that's great. And Chelsea, Chelsea needs something else. I don't know what. I just don't know what, but something. But, you know, on the topic of backing up to Chance, I also voted that no, Summer shouldn't dump him, only because I guess it's like this. Yeah, Chance made a lot of mistakes in the investigation, but soap opera conceit, you know? I mean, he wasn't meant to succeed. Like, Chance took one for the team, really. Chance bumbled the investigation so that we could continue to get that drama, and I just can't find it in my heart to hold it against him. Well, Russell says the Newman Ranch was beautiful again, as expected. When Nikki gave Connor and Chelsea the tour of the place, they walked off the set through the fourth wall, which I thought was strange. Are we only seeing half of that living area? Well, I guess that is the thing, right? They walked off. I can't remember where they walked off to. I only remember them walking back in from the place where the door used to be and should still be. But I guess the idea is there's more rooms down that long hall. A game room, apparently. Diana says, I wish Y&R would have shown Nick's son Christian on the show from time to time. He's turning into Mrs. Martinez, a ghost we never see. I think the last time we saw Christian was when he was locking up Connor in the garage. No, it was Connor who was locking up Christian in the garage. I think it would add a lot more depth to Nick's character. We always see Nick in the same light all the time. Businessman, brother to Victoria and Abby, son of Victor and Nikki, and lover, of course. But we never see Nick the dad. It would be nice to see Nick being a dad. We only ever hear about him and his nanny. Let's see Nick watching a movie with Christian or playing a board game with him at his home. I miss Nick's place a lot. It was one of my favorite sets. Nick's place was so cozy. I hope Y&R brings it back now that they seem to be bringing back sets. Nate got his apartment back. Seeing Nick in some scenes with Christian would definitely make him feel like more of a real person, and I hope Y&R considers having him on the show every now and then. Oh, I like Nick's house set too. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It had kind of like a, I don't know, it had a long hallway that we actually had. It seemed modern but cozy, yeah. And you make a good point. Christian is like the only kid who doesn't come back. You know, he's the only kid that's kind of on the show but not on the show. Connor, Katie, Johnny. We had tons of kids. Harrison this past year, and Christian's just missing. I wonder why that is. Is there a reason? Do they have some kind of other plans for him? I like your idea of seeing Nick being dad on occasion. Well, Tina Cole asks the question that will become our poll for the week. If you could pick one family on Y&R to join for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, who would it be? I always feel like the Abbotts' home feels cozy and warm to just join for dinner. Also, the Abbott dinner would have Tracy and Mrs. Martinez's cookies or desserts. I love that question, Tina Cole. So I'm going to put that up as a poll at yrchat.com. I think we're just going to go Newmans versus Abbotts on this one because those are the two families that we saw for the Thanksgiving holiday. Would you rather have holiday time with the Newman family or the Abbott family? If you want to weigh in on that fun question, go to yrchat.com. Thank you, Tina Cole, for coming up with that. A couple of people answered the question already. Sharon W. says, love Tracy, Ashley, and Alan at the Jabot Mansion, but my main love is Victor. I've loved Eric Braeden ever since Rat Patrol, which really dates me, but then he was in Planet of the Apes movies, so I'll always carry a torch for Victor. And also, I love the ranch decor the best, even though on Wednesday, the Abbott Mansion was so beautiful and so much orange, especially on the fireplace. Well, you know, you make a good point of what we need to take into consideration here, Sharon W., because if you're at the Abbott home, you get the beautiful dining room and, you know, the living room and all of that sort of family atmosphere. But if you get the ranch, if you go to the ranch for Christmas, which I'm sure you might, you get the ranch house, but you also do get the stables. You might drive by and see Sharon's cottage. You might drive by the tack house. There seems like there could be some activities on the grounds. I want to say there was one point where Victor did like a hay ride or something. So you got all the stables and the ranch hands. You might be able to ride a horse. So take that into consideration when you're deciding where you're going to spend Christmas, at the Abbotts or the Newmans. Connie says, the Abbotts for me. I mean, yeah, it's definitely more of a family atmosphere. But Victoria says being at the new ranch with the Newmans would be a flashback in itself. However, I would love to spend time with the Abbotts. I'd see the incredible love that Jack and Diane have for each other, ask about their favorite date and funny moment, see Ashley's elegance, and ask about her time in Paris when she was running a company there. Give Tracy a big hug and talk about her favorite novels and plot devices. It would also give me a chance to see if I can deduce if Alan is really Martin. I hope not. I'd speak with Kyle about his interests, and if I was brave, his future plans with Chabot. Cheer would come to us all as Harrison tells stories about school and his adventures in the park. I'd wait with bated breath to hear what each Abbott is most thankful for, and I'd have to include Y&R Chat in my list. Oh man, Victoria, that's the best answer. I love that. You really made the rounds. Because what I wouldn't give to walk through the Abbott door and have Tracy hand me that hot cup of cider. And then talk to her about books. That'd be fun. Really good answer. Oh, but Gary plucks out that Gary says, Victoria, I feel Ashley is a mean killjoy. I question if she is fully well and wonder if she might go back to Paris for a tune-up. Quote, should I throw her, Diane, out of the house for you, Jack? Yeah, Ashley was definitely like, when it came to Diane, the topic of Diane. And Victoria says, I agree. Ashley is steadfast in her contempt for Diane. She probably would celebrate with Nikki and Phyllis if Diane left town. But I don't think she's a total killjoy. She has her reasons for her frustration. Jack's attitude toward her at Jabot and her disappointment in her failed marriage with Tucker. She's happy to be around just Abby and Tracy. Yeah, and you know what else, Victoria? I feel like Jack and Diane did wind Ashley and Tracy up and gave them a reason to think that they disliked Diane recently, and then just turned it like, oh no, all those horrible things that Diane said to you directly, Tracy, we were just playing. Sorry. Go ahead and flip that switch for in time for Thanksgiving. Can you just flip your switch and not think about any of that again? Yeah, I feel like there was, you know, there was reasons. Oh. Victoria also says, well, there is a new serial killer on the loose in Genoa City. Keep your orchids away from Nikki. I'm shocked Nick is providing a new victim each week. That's scary. Surely Nikki could just have an assistant water that thing as needed. I mean, yes, orchids are difficult to take care of, but are they really? Are they really? I mean, if you know what to do, just give them a little water each week. I don't think it's that hard. But I was thinking too, like, you're just gonna waste that? That's so wasteful. One orchid a week, just because Nikki's assistant can't give it a tiny little quarter cup of water each week. Oh, wow. But Russell has brought up the true most important topic of the week. Russell says Nikki's hair looked great. And yes, Allie, she does look 20 years younger. The hair helped, but that she's happy and smiling, rarely seen in soaps, lifts her face. Everyone looks good smiling. Yeah, that's true, Russell. She's happy, and happiness is very, you know, becoming. But also the hair. I mean, the hair. It's not just the cut. It's the cut and the styling. It's the fact that the bangs are like wind blown back. It's just so chic. And she was also wearing a smoky eye. Like, it's amazing what hair and makeup can do. I mean, I think overnight Nikki became like 20 years younger. But Russell also says Victor had an open wound on his head. Nobody commented on it. I guess Eric Braden had a little accident. Yes, that is the elephant in the room, right? Victor's head wound. Well, I'll tell you, my theory is Victor was so stunned by Nikki's beauty transformation that he fell and hit his head. Okay, everybody. That brings us to an end of another Y&R Chat. I sure hope you enjoyed it. And I sure hope you go to yrchat.com to leave your comments, see all of the good stuff there. And oh yes, GenoaCitySoap.com is where you can get the Y&R Chat flashback special all about the ranch. Keep that nostalgia coming and keep coming back next Sunday because I'm looking forward to chatting about the show with you then. I love you guys and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.